Dave Sharma, surely it's a condemnation, is it not, of the West and the Biden administration, and I think allied governments, including ours, that in the face of the Ukraine war, we don't seem to have ramped up the industrial production of ammunition and weapons. So if the Western arsenal has been gravely depleted when China, Iran and North Korea say haven't fired a single shot, are the West weakened if they're now called upon to support Israel and called upon to support Ukraine?
I think so. I worry about this very much. I mean, as you said, the Western arsenal is already depleted. Israel does not hold a lot of supplies of munitions. It's a small country, so normally after a week of intense operations, it needs to be resupplied from the United States. That has already begun happening, and that is going to come at the expense of Ukraine. I don't see it's a zero-sum proposition. So this conflict is also firstly going to, I think, weaken the ability of the West to arm Ukraine. It's going to hamper the Ukrainian war effort. And I expect that Russia is quietly jubilant at how this is unfolding.
Absolutely. So if America then is committed to Ukraine and America then is committed to Israel and the Middle East, is this the time for China to, unchallenged, take over Taiwan?
Well, I mean, quite possibly when the international community is distracted, when the United States is distracted, this is often when other actors seek to take advantage of the situation and change the status quo in a way that, we just don't have, or countries don't have the diplomatic and military bandwidth to respond to. So I think we're at a very risky junction. And not only could this conflict become a regional one, not only will it have an impact on the Russia-Ukraine war, but it may well be that countries such as China seek to exploit the situation and take advantage of it themselves.
Absolutely. Dave, if American Navy and Air Force resources are deployed to the Middle East, not boots on the ground, the Navy and Air Force resources, so we're working from the air and from the water, how effective do you think that would be?
Well, I think it will help potentially deter other actors from playing a more active role. It will also improve intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance coverage of the region. So the US is moving a carrier battle group, the Gerald Ford from memory, to the eastern Mediterranean. I expect they will also start moving assets up into the Persian Gulf. They've already got the Fifth Fleet headquartered in Bahrain. But what that will signal, hopefully, to countries like Iran and others is that the US is watching. The US has assets prepared to respond and deploy to contingencies, and it will hopefully discourage them from capitalising on that situation. But, we can't be sure.
No. So, Dave, without being too unkind, coming back to where we began here, is this an intelligence failure and a military failure by Israel? And does Benjamin Netanyahu have to take responsibility when national security has been his strongest suit?
I think that's the only conclusion, Alan. I mean, it's obviously Israel is focused on getting its hostages back and prevailing in this conflict, but there will undoubtedly, as there was after the Yom Kippur War in Israel, there will undoubtedly be commissions of inquiry, and people, I think, up and down the chain of command will have to take responsibility for what was an egregious intelligence and operational failure, and lessons will need to be learned.
Do you think Netanyahu's survival depends on a massive military victory? Because, of course, Israel's survival depends on a massive military victory. Do you think Netanyahu will succeed in forming this emergency national government of unity with the opposition leader Lapid and the National Unity Party leader Benny Gantz to ensure a united front as Israel defends its people? What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, I think that's certainly possible. And look, I know Yair Lapid and Benny Gantz well, and they're both patriots and good citizens. And I know they want to do this for the right reasons, which is to give Israelis confidence, create a symbol of unity and coordination and control, and make sure Israel can fight this war as effectively as possible. I know their offer has been made in good faith. I do hope Benjamin Netanyahu accepts it, because this is the time for unity and cohesion, and not for
Definitely,
national
Dave.
division.